Day is the day. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is coming out tonight at midnight, and everybody is going to get to play it. I'm super excited. So, for today, I decided to do a fun little video. My perspective on the Legend of Zelda series. I know the Legend of Zelda series is super important to most game developers, most people in general who like video games. So, I'm going to be going over my list. I'm just pulling up a tier list here, and we're going to be going through all of my favorite Legend of Zelda games and why I like each one over the other and where I would rank them in my list. So just doing another fun video for today, but rest assured there is more TreeFall content coming soon. The TreeFall Studios Summer Game Experience is coming soon, so be sure to subscribe to the channel if you have not so you won't miss this year's experience. It's going to be really awesome. I have a lot of new game announcements. I have some surprise guests that are going to be featured in the summer experience. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. More info will be coming next week, but be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can see more of that. But for now, today, we're just going to be talking about The Legend of Zelda. All right, guys, so I have found a tier list here. This is the Legend of Zelda main series. I changed a couple of the things here from the bottom two tiers being D and all that. I changed it to never finished and haven't played. So, if you're like me, there are some Zelda games that I've started and I've never finished them, and a couple of them I haven't played. I will say I've played a lot of them and I own most of them, and I'm going to be showing you all the games that I have physically as I go to talk about them. So here you got your list. It looks like it's mostly in order. I accidentally moved a couple around, so they might be a few years out of order, but I'm going to basically go through the order of the games that I played, and I'll pull them out of here. So let's get started. I'm going to go ahead and just skip through really quickly. This might trigger a lot of you. Some of these opinions might be controversial. I understand that a lot of Zelda fans, man, they have some strong opinions on stuff. And I'll just go ahead and say the first Legend of Zelda game that I have ever played was The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker on GameCube, and it was the game that made me a Nintendo fan. I was basically raised on PS1, and then I got a PS2, and then we just so happened to get a GameCube because it seemed to have more family friendly games when I was younger. And whenever we played The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, I was sold, and I've been a Nintendo fan ever since. So, with that being said, a lot of these old Zelda games, the 2D top down ones, I probably haven't played a lot of them. So, we're going to go through them pretty quickly. All right, the original Legend of Zelda, I have played it. I played this on Virtual Console on the Wii, and I think I also have it like on the Wii U, maybe. I gotta say, I played it, but I never finished it, so it can't really go into the actual tier list. I didn't get far. Same with Zelda 2. I played this on the Wii Virtual Console and the Wii U Virtual Console. I gotta put it behind The Legend of Zelda in this list. I will organize my never finished category into which ones I liked better, because Zelda 2, it's okay. The 2D stuff is interesting. Some people love it, some people hate it, but that's where it's going to go for me, behind the original. Now, this is going to hurt people's feelings, I think. I think we got A Link to the Past here. I also never finished this. So that's kind of sad for a lot of people. Link to the Past might be some people's favorite Zelda game. Um, yeah, it's just the 2D games, like they were harder for me to play and enjoy and finish. But I will say, I played it on the Wii Virtual Console, and I think I have it on the Wii U. And I got a lot farther into it, probably about halfway through, compared to maybe like 10% through of the original Legend of Zelda. And I like it a lot better. So, we'll just go with that one for there. We shouldn't have started here because this is just going to get people to click off the video as I'm like trashing on all the old Zelda games. But yeah, so we'll just keep on moving here. Link's Awakening. I believe that's what this is. This is actually going to have to go into my haven't played. It's one of the few Zelda games that I actually have never played before. Kind of sad. I wanted to play the Link's Awakening remake on Switch. I think that's what this is. A Link Awakening. Yeah, just wanted to make sure because there's a couple of them. I'm like, I don't really recognize those logos on the Game Boy Advance. There's a couple more I haven't played, but this basically marks where I have played because I've played everything from Ocarina forward, except for a couple of the Game Boy Advance games. So now I can actually give a better opinion. So Ocarina of Time, like this, I've been thinking about my Zelda tier list, or basically what my favorite Zelda games are, for a very long time. This has always been a point of discussion between me and my friends of like, oh, what's your favorite game? And as each generation comes by, we reorganize our lists. So this is just so hard. I've got to put, Ocarina of Time in S tier. This is like, man, I think for the time period, first off, I can just pick up the game. Let me go ahead and grab it here. It's a little out of order because I stacked my games in the order that I got them. But here is the 3D version. I don't have a box copy of the 64, but I have played through the game on the 64 and completed it on the Wii Virtual Console, and I have played through the 3DS version and completed it many times. This is definitely one of my favorite Zelda games of all time. It's probably top five. It's not my very favorite, but I can still go back and play it even though it's pretty old and enjoy it all the way through. I think for the time period, the stuff that it did to, game design with the Z targeting and just the scope of the adventure is just unheard of. The time travel stuff, I absolutely love it. And some of the dungeons and just feelings you get when you play the game are still unmatched. I think that it holds up, that if you've never played it before, it's worth picking up and playing it all the way through. So that's S tier for me. Looking over here at this list, let's see what's next. And now we got Majora's Mask because these are in order. Now this might be controversial to some people. Some people have Majora's Mask higher. I'm gonna have to put it in B tier because like I just didn't like it as much as Ocarina of Time, and I gotta say like this one is like should go in my never finished category because I basically got to the last like set of dungeons, like the very end of the game. Um, I don't know if I fully completed it or not. That shows you like how long ago it's been. I feel like I did, and did the final boss, but it's just like so hard to remember. It's a little fuzzy. I played it on the Nintendo 64 back in the day on the Wii Virtual Console, and I played it again on the 3DS, but I did not finish the 3DS version. This one, I think that it's a B tier. It's not A. It's like it's really good. Like I'll just go ahead and say this, that all the tiers all the way through C, like C for Legend of Zelda is still like some of the best games ever just because the series is so good. But I'm ranking these in terms of like what I think of for the whole Zelda series. I think it's somewhere in B. It does interesting ideas. It has a dark tone. I like some of the music in it and some of the weird, do everything in the 3 days, recycle the time. That didn't click with me as much as Ocarina did. So it's got to go B tier for me. Moving on, now these are going to be quick. The two Game Boy Color games, Oracle of Seasons and Ages. I didn't play those. I've never played them. I downloaded one of them, I think, on the 3DS Virtual Console, but I haven't even started it yet, so you got no opinions on those. And here's where my real good opinions and battles come in is The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Like I mentioned, this is my favorite. Well, it's my favorite Zelda game, but it's the first Zelda game that I had ever played. So there's some nostalgia with that. I still have my original box copy complete on the GameCube. This stuff is super expensive now. It's kind of crazy. I paid $14.99 for this used at GameStop, back in like 2006 or whatever. I think this game came out in 2002. But yeah, so the Wind Waker, this is top tier, S tier for me. I like it more than Ocarina of Time. Just the feeling that you get, the dungeons in this game, the overall gameplay. I love the Great Sea. I love diving. I love just finding an island. This was like the first game that really took exploration to another level, but still had really, really focused dungeons. I remember feeling like when I was going to my next destination and I could see the mountain off in the distance, and oh, I got to get to Dragon Roost Island, but oh, there's like a little island that I can see out of the corner of my eye, and I know it's not story related. It's just a tiny little island over there, but I want to go see what's over there. that was the first feeling where it felt like, it was a full open world game type of thing, but the map was so designed and so tight. It's not, there was, you could go and see everything without wasting all of your time, or you could skip stuff. It was just perfect. I love the art style, love the characters, the Tetra Zelda thing. I love the pirates. The music is just so unbelievable. And that scene when you go underneath, spoilers, I guess, if you've never played any of these games, you don't watch the tier list if you haven't played it. When you go down to Hyrule under the water and when you fight Ganondorf, that is just so awesome. So the next one, we're moving on here kind of quickly. I'm already at 10 minutes on my recording timer. So this is going to be a longer video than I thought. This is the Four Swords, actually. Sorry. I'm going to put this, oh gosh, this is kind of hard. Probably C tier, just so there is a C tier game. I played this one on, actually, I never played it on the GameCube. I never owned it on the GameCube, just maybe played it at a friend's house. But I had this game as part of the 3DS Ambassador program, and they gave you these games for free that no one else could buy if you bought your 3DS at the full price when it first came out, which I did. And it actually had wireless local play, so I remember we played this with my friends. It's fun. Multiplayer Zelda games, I think, have a lot of potential, but I don't think they've reached that potential yet. So yeah, I enjoyed most of what I play for it. So it could also go in the never finished category, but I feel like I played enough of it just to put it in C tier, I guess. Right here, this game, I have not played this. I'm gonna go ahead and leave that there. And then that, I guess this is the remake on the Game Boy Advance version. Another one that I haven't finished, and I'm gonna have to put this because I didn't play enough of this. I'm gonna have to put this in this category. I'm probably gonna put it there, although I don't really have enough information to just give a definitive whether or not Minish Cap is better than Link to the Past or anything like that. I think what I played of Link to the Past is more fun, but I played a little bit of Minish Cap back on the 3DS because I also had it in the Ambassador program, but I didn't play that much of it. Just these 2D top-down Zeldas. I am very interested in it though. I think I will play through the whole thing and have a better opinion in the future because I've heard it's really, really good. And the very like the first like area that you play in, like it was a lot of fun. I just wasn't really, yeah, I didn't make time for it back when I played my 3DS more often. So the next game on the list is The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I have this one here on the Wii. This is my original Wii copy. This is so tough for me because, wow, one of my lights just died. I'm gonna have to just keep going without that. This game is so tough for me because it's so good and it it goes back and forth between my favorite Zelda games forever. Um, and it's just crazy because like I fight the nostalgia for Legend of Zelda the Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. They're completely opposite games. They're just so different from each other. One is full of sorrow, darkness, moody adult themes, a realistic art style, and the other one is hopeful, courageous, jubilant, childish themes. And they're just complete opposites, and I love them almost equally. I gotta put Twilight Princess as number two. I think it could be my number one, but I think it's my number two just because of my nostalgia attachment for Wind Waker. So I don't know. It's such a good game. The temples in that game, the feeling, just it's hard to beat the emotional feeling you get from playing Twilight Princess. Has one of the best companions. Midna is such a good companion. The side stories are just it's just so good. The characters, the stuff in like the castle town is awesome when you build up that cool shop and then you get all the secret armor and stuff. I did like everything 100% in that game. Also on top of all of that, it's just it's just so hard to beat that feeling of like loneliness, like when you're Wolf Link. That's so unique for Zelda. Every Zelda game they reinvent the wheel and something is completely different, but when you just see all the spirits of people past and your Wolf Link and stuff, That's so good. The Midna's Lament song, when she's dying and you're carrying her, that is just hard to beat those Zelda feels. Some really interesting themes and tropes explored in this game. Gotta have S tier, and it's between number one and number two for me. Alrighty, I fixed my camera issue and my lighting issue, and now I'm gonna keep on going. And these are very interesting. Some people hate these, some people love these, but the next two games on the list are The Legend of Zelda Phantom Hourglass and The Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. Okay, now these two games are DS games. They're mainline series games, and you controlled Link by using the stylus. Some people hate that, because if you've got your hand in the way, kind of covers the bottom screen. The gameplay takes place on the bottom screen. But I absolutely love these games. I played them when they came out. I still have my original copies complete for both of those. And this is so hard because I think that I go back and forth. These games are basically in my mind. It's been a long time since I've played them. I haven't played them since they originally came out, pretty much. Um, but in my mind, they're about the same for me. Now, I will say that I have more memories. I feel like overall I liked Spirit Tracks better, that I liked the music better, the dungeons better, um, and possibly just the overall world and the music. I think I just said the music. But now I will say that uh, I have more memories of Phantom Hourglass. I think that's because you have to go through the Ocean King's Temple a million times, and I have memories of Phantom Hourglass because I customizing the boat, and it still has that great sea effect where you get to explore the islands and just dropping off on different islands and finding, the milk bar there or whatever. I think that overall, I'm just gonna rank them like this: Hourglass and then Spirit Tracks. I want to say Spirit Tracks is the better game and I enjoyed it more, but I have more memories and nostalgia attached to filling out the map on Hourglass. So I'm going to put them there, and I'm going to put them in A tier. I like both of these games better than Majora's Mask and better than Four Swords. So, A tier might be kind of high for some people. Some people might consider these B tier or something like that. But for me, that's where they're going to go. All right, the next one on the list is The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword. I've got the original Wii version here, and if you look up on my game shelf back there, you can see I have the special edition box that came with the soundtrack and the golden Wii remote. This game is special. It's this is a hard one to rank because it does a lot of things. Like it has better motion controls than the um Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on the Wii, but I don't really like them. Like, it was too specific. I felt like it was a little hard to play. But, even though it was hard to play, I think the story and the graphics and the dungeons were super worth it. There's this mind blowing moment in Skyward Sword in the desert dungeon where you're carrying around a time orb, and as you walk around, it changes the area to like 1,000 years ago, or when the area was alive. It was unbelievable. There's some awesome puzzle mechanics. I remember a lot of the dungeons, the ancient cistern with the dude with like the arms and all that stuff. A lot of that was very memorable. The QQs, the little dudes in the forest, like QQ. Like, I don't know if that's stuck in other people's heads, but man, that's on my head. Gruce's theme, I could sleep to that. The wow 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 wow. That is it's just awesome. I would have to say that this is probably, I, just to be fair, I think I would put it in A tier. It's not like an S tier game. I like it better than both of the handheld Zelda games, but I feel like I had too many problems trying to play through it, like not enjoying the controls. I have the Switch version, but even then, like I haven't fully beaten it on the Switch version because I still feel like the controls are a little unintuitive. I feel like it's just kind of hard. Like when you're fighting Girahim in that first fight, when you have to like do it just right, I just find that difficult and kind of tough. So that's got to go there for me as an A tier Zelda game. I like Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, and Ocarina better than Skyward Sword. So currently it's 4 in my list, but what are you gonna do? The next one is A Link Between Worlds. Now this, if I had to put this in a category, this one's kind of hard because this is another 2D Zelda, and I didn't finish this one. It would be another never finished for me, but I felt like I played enough of this. I got close to the end to know where it would go, and I want to say that I would put it in B tier and above Majora's Mask if it will let me. There we go. And that's just because there was some interesting puzzle mechanics in this one. I like the wall, the 2D wall link and all of that. But I feel like this Zelda entry kind of ruined the series for me because it started off this Breath of the Wild, like do the dungeons in any order, play however you want type of design, and I don't really like that. And the fact that it was a top-down Zelda, I just didn't like it as much. I don't like that combat system as much. It's just not as fun to me. But I feel like there were some good puzzles in this game, and I also feel like there was a good use of the 3D effect. I remember one of the enemies in the beginning and jumping between floors looked really, really cool. So I would have to say B tier, and I would put it above Majora's Mask, which, for some people, they might be like, "Oh, Majora's Mask is so much better." I mean, Song of Healing. What I mean, what can you do? It's pretty good. Triforce Heroes is next on this tier list. This one I actually don't have physically. I just have it on my 3DS as a download. I do want to pick it up physically because I'm trying to get every game physical now. Physical only, no digital. The only time I buy digital games is if they're only available digitally. You should do the same. Just keep those games alive. But for this game, I'm going to put C tier and I'm going to put it behind Four Swords actually because it's just not that good. The matchmaking for online wasn't that good. I could never find a game. People would always quit. My friends never wanted to play it. We were, the costume thing was really weird. Link constantly looked ugly, instead of heroic. And, it just wasn't that great. I think Four Swords was better multiplayer if you had the 3DS version and played locally with friends. So I'm going to put it there. And then this is the last game to rank before tonight at midnight when we get Tears of the Kingdom. And it's The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. And this is going to be, some people are going to hate this opinion, but for me, it goes right there. I don't like Breath of the Wild that much. It's an awesome game. I mean, it's a really amazing game. I just don't think it's that good of a Zelda game. I think it just reinvents the series in a way that I don't like. And yeah, it's okay. Like the music and the ambience, there's a super interesting feeling you get when you're playing this game. Um but I wouldn't say that I enjoyed it more than Skyward Sword or even the handheld DS games, which, for some people that might be crazy. You like Hourglass more than Breath of the Wild, and like, yes, I do. Um, the fact that everything was broken into shrines and there was no real dungeons, and they consider the Divine Beasts the dungeons. I thought the Divine Beasts were all very similar. All the shrines were very similar. I don't like the open-endedness of like everything can be solved. Every shrine can be solved like a million different ways with all these tools that they give you because it really feels like some of it's just glitchy and buggy, and it's not really designed into carefully crafted puzzles, and more of just like here's some puzzles and just figure it out however you want to. I'm not sure what the testing team was actually thinking. The story is lackluster. All the memories, the characters felt disjointed. Exploring the world was fun, but it felt a little empty. It felt like you were exploring for no reason. And on top of that, it felt like the devs were wasting your time for no reason because, like, the Korok seeds thing, they basically just spread them out everywhere, and then they just gave you a golden turd if you got them all, which is just unbelievably insane. Like that is a complete waste of time. One of the worst game design tropes I hate is developers wasting your time where there's endless collectibles and endless things to do, but for no real reason or benefit to the game. Um, so I didn't really like it for that reason. But the things that I do like about it is the actual combat is fun, the actual gameplay is fun, the world is immersive, and everything is alive and interacts with each other, which is unbelievably impressive. One of the main cool things about it is traversal, to being able to climb anywhere, glide anywhere, do anything. That is very, very special. So my thoughts for Tears of the Kingdom is I think it's going to be way above Breath of the Wild on this list, probably above the DS Zelda games, and probably above Skyward Sword. I doubt that it will be able to take out any of these three in my S tier, but that's only if, we'll have to see. I don't know. From what I've seen so far, it looks like Tears of the Kingdom has taken my complaints with Breath of the Wild and fixed them, and then also kept the few things that I liked about Breath of the Wild. It looks like with this game, there's going to be open world exploration, just like there is in Breath of the Wild. Endless exploration, endless ways to solve puzzles, endless ways to do things however you want. But it also looks like there's more story, that it's more crafted, and that there's going to be actual dungeons. The developers came out yesterday and said that there's going to be real dungeons in the game, like traditional Zelda games. So I have high hopes that they're going to fix some of my puzzle solving gripes, some of my story gripes, and like give you a little bit more reason to actually explore the world and not just waste your time with the Koroks again. I feel like a lot of those issues are going to be fixed. I still don't like the super open-ended style of game, and I don't really like open world games all that much. So I think that overall it will probably be behind Ocarina of Time to me, but I don't know. I can't tell you for sure until I've played the game, but I can tell you I'm super excited, and I just think it's going to be a whole lot of fun. So I hope you guys or whoever's watching this is looking forward to playing The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom tonight or tomorrow whenever you get a chance to play it. Be sure to come back to this video and let me know in the comments below what you think about The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And go ahead, I'm looking at this tier list here. Go ahead and tell me what you think. Do you agree with some of my picks? What's your favorite Zelda games? Do you strongly disagree? Is Breath of the Wild the #1 Zelda game until tonight? Do you hate Phantom Hourglass? I mean, one of those things is probably true for someone watching this video, so let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching this just fun hangout Legend of Zelda video today. I'm not going to do a lot of heavy editing because I got to get back to working on the TreeFall Studios Summer Game Experience video. I'm working on this quite a bit ahead in advance, but I wanted to get this out and just throw this up here just so we can hang out and talk about The Legend of Zelda and have some fun. But before I go, I'm going to go ahead and shout out our Patreons subscribers. If you have made it this far in the video, I got to give a personal shout out to everybody who supports TreeFall Studios on patreon.com in the top tier, and that would be Carmen Red, Shark and Minnow, and Overhyped Gamer. Thanks for what you do for TreeFall Studios on patreon.com. I could not do what I do without you guys. If any of you are interested in checking out the Patreon page, the links will be in the description below. Also, if you don't realize, I am a game developer. I'm an indie game developer. I make content about how to get into the indie game development business, and I make content talking about just generalized game development topics and trending topics like this, like Zelda and other things that are changing the game industry. I give you my perspective as a game developer. So if that is something you're interested in, be sure to subscribe to this channel for more content like that. And if you're interested in checking out some of my games, I make a lot of puzzle games, a lot of interesting games that are very suited towards the fans of Nintendo games. And those are available on Steam and PlayStation. You can find links for those in the description below. And buying any of those would supports me and helps out this channel. So be sure to do that and come back and leave a comment if you check out a new game because of this video. All right, guys, without further ado, I'll catch you in the next video. I hope you have a blast playing Tears of the Kingdom tonight. All right, catch you in the next one.